Thanks for having me here. I'm Paul from Wienerberger. What I'd like to show you is, in the next sort of 20 minutes, is one of our innovations we've been working on, not just Wienerberger, but as a consortium of other manufacturers, but also we've taken others like IBMs and the technology guys into the construction and where we are with it. I mean, why innovation BIM in construction? You've probably seen the image. I think the issues we have around the obviously information communicating with clients, even clients expressing what they want and what they get. I think that's fundamentally why we need BIM and why we need the collaboration. And one of the challenges in the construction, we all agree, is that it's not straightforward. It's not straightforward to actually apply a digital way or a new technologies in the construction, a bit like I always compare it with football and using technology. But I think we need to do that, and obviously the advantages of that are better integration of the company's management. Certainly within Wienerberger, we see that every day, trying to improve our processes, the way we collaborate and work between departments. Wienerberger, if you don't know, we largest brake manufacturer in the UK. We're number 2. We also manufacture our porotherm blocks, our paving blocks, but also beyond Sensoft, and Kima recently. So it's very important. There are various different businesses at various stages in terms of their the management, the way they operate, and it's one of the challenges is try to collaborate and get a process in place to make us more efficient. Collaboration, always activities, I mentioned this. New processes, knowledge, customer satisfaction. We've seen in the last 6 months, since we really worked hard to get into our technical services across the group, get them to use common data environment, get them to use a single naming policy, filing, sharing, how we file and share, looking after revisions of drawings, various designs, and it improved by about on average 3-4% customer satisfaction across the business. And embracing and adopting new technologies. And one of the technologies I'd like to share with you is our E4 house. So it's a house concept which we came up about 3 years ago with Arab, and it was initially just a marketing exercise, I call it. It was literally just to come up with a housing concept to almost but complement code and passive house, and being the UK sort of housing concept. And we worked obviously around the matrix was based around 4 E's, around the economy. It was important that it was affordable to construct, buy and live in using durable materials. Obviously, another E was the environment, impact, energy and the emotion. And from about last year or year and a half ago, we decided to work obviously with BRE, the Innovation Park, and the Home Quality Mark team, and taking it even further. One of the key issues was obviously to have a detailed design book, technical guidance, but also it's so easy to design obviously a house, but then it's more difficult to actually build it on site and close the gap between obviously as designed and as built. And we decided to obviously look into BIM level 2 and BIM, genuinely BIM, and use it in housing, take it from the commercial guys, learn it from them, and obviously we're still working on it. The R&D works to achieve the BIM level 2 compliant housing concept. We started work with BRE Building Smart, we worked with Co-Builder, we worked with business collaborators providing common data environment. So we're pretty close. We're not saying it's there, but I'll show you examples what we've done so far. We haven't done it on our own. I mentioned it. We worked with about 18 manufacturers in the last 2 years to get it where it is at the moment. So again, it's difficult because innovation costs money. Obviously, R&D costs money. We have to, even myself, I had to justify this investment, and it's been about probably close to £300,000 over 2 years to get it where it is now, including the technology, getting it almost standardized, because I think that's where the construction, the industry would take it up if it's standardized, if there is a clear process, and it's not just ideas, but it is a standard. So in terms of, we just recently work on a R&D and innovation consortium, because I believe there is fair bit of money in Horizon 2020 available to push the closing, especially the gap between the as-built and as-design. So we work with business collaborator, co-builder, BRE, IBM, IET and Futurium on this. So you can see where we're heading. We're hoping as a consortium of sort of companies, we should be able to push on this to a next level, and hopefully to start looking at the complementing the BIM level 2, completing the BIM level 2 project, and looking at some of the advantages level 3, and engaging also the supply chain, because we've done great work recently with Regions in East Anglia in terms of them engaging into obviously BIM, and it's difficult because you walk into their merchant and they obviously they're not even on Windows XP, they don't even know what is Excel spreadsheet, so it's a big challenge, the skill gap to get to BIM level 2, not even BIM level 3, where government's talking about obviously embracing BIM level 3, where I think there is a massive gap to take the rest of the industry on board and have a BIM level 2 as business as usual. And BIM for M2, again, what we're trying to do is, obviously there is an issue around data dictionaries, there is an issue about various different classifications like uniclass, omniclass, obviously building smart data dictionary. So we're trying to work with other manufacturers and obviously propose a unified sort of data dictionary. So then product manufacturers can communicate with the industry and can obviously supply the information needed to comply with BIM level 2. Obviously, what we needed to do is to have the house, the E4 house sort of comply. One of the issues was obviously have a common data environment. It's easy to say. We worked about 6 or 7 months with business collaborator to scale it down from the commercial, because there are bits and pieces we didn't need within housing concept, to scale it down and allow almost again a very standardized process to take a housing concept, design a house, use the tools available almost for like sort of housing associations, local authorities, and and allow them on the almost BIM level to comply and allow them to do that. So we've developed our own E4, call it common data environment, which does control and control the whole supply chain, allows the whole supply chain to collaborate, but it also does control the E4 compliance, as well as now we're working on home quality mark compliance, and it does it automatically. We're working with some sub-software providers to be able to extract information and almost have an automated sub-calculation as built and as designed, and kind of the more real one, but also looking at the real performance of a house. So this is the house at BRE. It's obviously between physical and digital. One of the I think great things in there is the understanding the hidden assets. So that's all automated, it's up and running. What we also see is a compare digital and physical. So we've done in the last 6 months work with some housing associations, with some SMEs at work on site. The site managers can take pictures looking at the model and actually take pictures between the digital and versus physical, and then obviously that way again we're trying to close the gap. This is a kitchen example where it could be a patch coating, it could be insulation, it could be enclosing cavities and things like taping. So these things can be done very easily, because usually every trade would have a mobile phone, so they can just take a picture and then obviously transfer the image to the site manager. Understanding the structure, so obviously looking at the structural modeling all the components. One of the work we've done with business collaborator and co-builder is using like a G or Google search of products and product information, looking at the products, then obviously getting the snapshot of the product, that particular product, in terms of their product data templates, in terms of their product sheet information. Clashes, so obviously we worked out potential clashes. You can unclick it and it takes you straight away into a potential clash. So again, we're trying to reduce the rework, we're trying to reduce the gap between the as-built and as-designed by using the technology. one other work's been done with Business Collaborator and Ordnance Survey is looking at they call it GeoBIM, so basically where the house is, so position the house in the real, and using the real data, using the data like the elevations, using surrounding buildings view, recent crime spots as well, so you can plan obviously your development before you even start designing and constructing, getting the data around the area, so which is again very useful. Looking at commercial buildings, the blue dots are, this is in Chelsea in London, blue dots are commercial buildings in the area. You can then build out a layout using obviously Google Map topography where you see the crime spots or where you see the residential to versus the commercial building. That's one of the next bit we're working on is looking at the property maintenance, because I think that's the important bit, the FM. And how the house then interact with the end user. We're hoping to have the every E4 sort of house built against these sort of rules concept should act as a live user. So it should talk to the end user to tell him, or to the FM operators to tell them if there is an issue. If there is an issue in terms of analyze, predicting also. So with IBM, we're working on special sensors which predicting and constantly monitoring the flow rates, for example, of circulation pumps. And again, the cost of that is very negligible in these days. Looking at special sensors, water pressure drops, and then interacting with the supply chain. So if an alert comes up, the end user can see, it'll tell him, using the GeoBIM or the geo information to tell him the idea is to tell them the nearest sort of B&Q store or the nearest Travis Perkins where they can purchase the pump to replace the pump. But also we're working with someone like Check a Trade to provide 3 sort of quotes within a 5 mile of radius. So the client is the end user or the asset operator is informed about the asset and about the potential replacement. Example of boiler failure. So residents receive a notification of an alert. An engineer can arrive to the site, call up a maintenance history from the model, so it's linked directly to the model. It can then carry out and write a report which is then uploaded back to the model. And then obviously then residents received an update, all green dots, all up and running. Looking at the heating management, so looking at the usual bits around temperature, presence, humidity, again with IBM and their clever technology around sensors, so we can, it's very easy and doable. Looking at power management, linking obviously to BIM and OMM, BIM objects and device information, lifecycle energy use as well, looking at lifecycle costing, and also linking to the geometry of the actual physical model. And then we're hoping we're creating what is an easy E4 dashboard, so in 2 sort of formats, sort of the common data view, common data environment view, and then the sort of more, I would say, end user gamification view. So we worked with a company called Futurium in terms of gaming. So we're trying again to engage with the end user, get the data to more sort of user-friendly way. And then ideally, hopefully at the end of the project, you get the as-built model. And the idea is that model then obviously as the house is live, as the house acts as a live user, with the work with co-builder, as soon as a manufacturer update their, I don't know, declaration of performance, the idea is as soon as a manufacturer updated in the view of co-builder, the co-builder will then it'll either search for the models for the product and update it automatically within the house model. So the user ideally should still have the as-built, the most up-to-date snapshot of their house, of their sort of PDFs, of their whatever they want, manuals out of it. And it's not a pile of documentation, which usually we get at the moment with new house, pile of documentation. For example, Bayland boilers, you would have 10 types in there and you have to scribble and find your type in there. These days we'll get more documentation from our house, from our car when we purchase a car, and more maintenance, call-out maintenance, sort of, I have Audi, they call me every 6 months, everything's okay, how things works. And they sort of looking after that. With the house, we get a pile of documentation, 12 months defect warranty, and builder doesn't care, see you later, and then who knows what's happened to the house. So what I'd like to show you is kind of, we have what we also developing is an app for the end user, obviously. and also for these for the sales, for the marketing, but also for the FM guys. I think it's a great way for them where before they go to a property which is maintained by a housing association, and they can walk through the house, they can see where the asset is, so they know before they go to the house. Not only they will go there with the right part at the first down, but they will also know where the boiler is positioned, what the issues are, where the piping is. So that's something we've been working on. We call it E4 platform. So the next stage is that any house can be designed obviously that way, following the principles. And the idea is it's all linked online, so it's not a marketing exercise. There are real data, there are construction drawings behind it, there is an FM data behind it. So this is just a view what we've done recently, and I think that's. So what we wanted from that as well is to have is still work in progress, to have obviously not just the selectors, but also to have, we will have information for the home user as well, so where they can get the information about the house, the user-friendly information, but as well, if there is an FM need, very detailed information. And I think that's it from me. So thank you very much.